Ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of Straight from the Block. I am in my block attire today with my hoodie on. Fitted is on already. I'm your host, Deplano, only on 92.6 WKBP, The Spot. Rest of the co-hosts holler at him for this morning.
You already know who it is, man. AKA Ashton Martin, Mr. Martin. We in the building, baby. Let's go.
How y'all doing? It's Haitian Ferg on my way to pick up another Haitian. Let's go.
look. And owner, I have to put this out there. The CEO and the cook of Fergsburgs, gotta put that out there because them shits is delicious. You gotta get your shameless plugs in when you can't, Ferg. You gotta get your shameless plugs in.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No
by
problem.
the way, I'm still on. By the way, I'm doing. I did burgers last weekend. People doing college football parties and all that.
Listen, man, it's tailgating time. You still gonna need burgers. Burgers is all year round, man. There's never a time of year that there's nobody needs burgers,
especially if they're good.
Trust me, man. I'm working as hard as I can, man. I appreciate that.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have been gone for a minute, but we back with the jittity jump off, and we got a lot to catch up on. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna run through it. We're gonna run through it, and we're gonna run through it. I ain't gonna waste your time spending too much time on some of the little things, but I do have to make mention of a lot of things. So let's start with the MLB postseason. There will be no Yankees, there will be no Mets, and there will be no San Diego Padres, who have the top three payrolls in Major League Baseball. Ladies and gentlemen, I will say that again. Those three teams had the top payroll in Major League Baseball, and neither of those teams will be making the postseason this season. Okay,
it ain't all about the money.
Exactly, it ain't all about the money. It's about what you do and how you do it, and how you finagle and manage the team that you have, getting people at a decent price, which the Knicks is doing right now. Got to get them at the low price. That's a shameless plug right there for the New York Knicks. But the Baltimore Orioles are the AL East champions for the first time since 2014. So it's almost 10 years since the Baltimore Orioles has won the AL East. I want to put that out there to the people so that they understand the significance of what's going on in Major League Baseball. The WNBA playoffs is in effect, ladies and gentlemen. The Liberty is in the second round. The Aces have beat their first round opponent and are now back in the WNBA finals. Let's see if the Liberty could finish off their opponent and meet the Aces in the WNBA finals, exactly where we all expected them to be, facing each other. So go Liberty. Go Liberty, since I'm a New York guy. Colorado. What?
I had to shout out, the Liberty. Brianna.
Oh yeah, shout out to Liberty. But let's the first thing we'll actually spend time on today will be Colorado. I want to talk about Deion Sanders in Colorado. They took their first L to Oregon. It was a spanking. I want to get you guys' thoughts on that game, as they'll be playing again today. They'll be playing USC, but since we're playing catch up, what you guys thought about that loss to the Oregon Ducks?
I'll tell you right now, that was the one team, if I'm not mistaken, when we were making our predictions, that we thought they would lose to. Now they did get exposed on the offensive line and defensive line, but Deion knew that going in that he needed help on the offensive and defensive lines. Now, if Travis Hunter plays, it's probably a closer game, but they're still going to lose that game. I still think Colorado's overachieved, given what, everyone else had them win 3 games for the whole season. They're already 3-1. And, I'm not mad that they lost. I'm just upset at all the extra that's going around. Like, oh, it's good for Dion. This should quiet him down. I'm like, you're not quieting down Dion. It just bothers me that there's more extracurricular around the game than the game itself. But Colorado's going to be good. They're going to be good. This was one of those games, like I said, I thought they were going to lose. Shador was running for his life the entire game. They couldn't stop the run. Oregon basically, and you got to give credit to Oregon. They put their foot on their neck from the first snap. So, I can't say that Colorado looked unprepared, because I think this was a talent deficiency that they have in the way. And look, football, no matter what you got on the skill position side, it's still a game and will always be a game that you win in the trenches. And if you can't get to the quarterback or protect your quarterback, I don't care who you got in the skill positions. It is what it is. And I think that's what we saw. And I think that if you give Dion another season with the transfer portal, look out for them next year. Because they already got the skill guys. They just need to shore up the lines. So, I'm not shocked that they lost. I'm upset that they lost by as much as they did. But, it's one of them things that they'll learn from it.
So I agree with Ferg 1,000%. So I'm going to try to bring a different angle, a different perspective, and not say the same exact things that he just said. Because I agree with everything that he just said. Wholeheartedly agree with everything he just said. It was all about the front seven. They was running the ball effortlessly, and they're not running backs not being touched for 7 to 10 yards. And then on the other end of the field, the Sanders was running for his life. But the coach, the Oregon's coach, also had his team ready to play, and with play calling, he kept the momentum going. I saw the first quarter, the first half, the first quarter. The second time they had the ball, they was inside their 30-yard line. They were like 27-yard line. It was 4th down and 4. And this man did a fake punt. He did a fake punt. They ran that shit for like another 30 yards, but he didn't want to get Colorado's momentum into the game at all. He wanted to keep them where they was at, and the momentum kept going. And it's football. If one team starts off this high and they start off 14 zip, 17 zip, before you could even tie your shoes, this game is pretty much over. I don't think I like what people saying, like, oh, Dion is still going to be Dion. And for me, he wasn't talking much. He was just defending himself. If you put a camera in front of Dion, he's going to talk. That's been him since he was prime time, since he was 9 years old. You get that man a mic, he going to talk. Is what it is. So don't give him a mic if you don't want to hear him. You know what I'm talking about? But
right.
USC today is going to be a tough game for them as well. Like you said, when we looked at the schedule, it's like, hey, if they beat USC and Oregon, then they're going to go undefeated, But even if they lose to these two teams and they finish off the rest of the season 9-2, with only these two losses, they're still going to be great, and he's still going to be the talk of the town. And Dion is still going to be the face of college football going forward, no matter what. So I feel like even if they lose today, if they lose a closer game, if they shoot it out with USC, if they go back and forth with USC and it's a tight game, it still shows that he's here,
Mm-hmm.
If they win and beat USC, we're going to forget about Oregon last week. The whole world will forget about the Oregon loss. If they somehow come out today and slap USC, no one will remember Oregon. That's all I'm going to say.
Can I ask you a question? If they come out and slap USC, do you think they still got a chance at a bowl game? Like
Yes.
A legit bowl game?
Yes.
Like it's still alive, right?
But they have to run the table. And Oregon would have to be Oregon would have to be an admiration. It would have to be, because you gotta imagine the entire season with Hunter, right? Imagine the entire season with Hunter. Now, I don't think it would have been close, the Oregon game. I think it would have ended 40-something, 20-something. You got to remember, they barely put anything on the board. So I feel like with Travis Hunter, they would have been able to score some points. But I think they just were outplayed in that Oregon game, offensively and defensively and special teams. And it's hard to surmount that with one play on the offensive end. So I don't think it would have been close.
Well,
Wait, whoa.
No. The reason why I say that
Oh
is
yeah,
because,
I forgot. He's a corner. He plays both sides.
he's their
He
best
plays both
corner
sides.
and their best wide receiver.
Yeah, he plays both sides of the ball. I forgot. You're right. I understand that. I still don't think, even with him playing both sides of the ball, I think Oregon would have overwhelmed them, and it wouldn't have been close. I think it would have at least been a 2-score game where they won by.
To your point, D, that's what me and Ferg were saying. They were running the ball on Oregon, on Colorado all day, and Travis Hunter is not a linebacker, so he's not going to stop that run. They were running at will, and running backs wasn't being touched. 10 yards down the field, 15 yards and touched for the first time. So I agree with you.
You know what makes me mad too? Colorado lined up to stop the run, and they still ran right through him. Even when they knew the run was coming.
Listen, people get run over every day, B. Lined up, 11 in the box or not, people get run over every day, B. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. Now, in regards to Deion, I want to put this out there because this is truly how I feel. I agree with everything you guys said in regards to the game. This is my only perspective on this game. This game was absolutely needed. It was absolutely needed because it wasn't more about Deion. It was more about what Deion has been doing to the team. Their confidence coming in 3-0 was through the roof, right? Their confidence was through the roof, right? They were there because of some comments that was made by Oregon's coach. The team was pumped up. You know, Deion defends himself. Nobody's complaining about. I don't have no issue with Deion defending himself, right? He said even after the game, they think they playing me, but they're not. But Deion has to understand that they are playing him. He's the football head coach for that team, and the team is following him, his drum, his confidence, his swag, right? You know, when you come out to Lil Wayne rapping, you know, ain't nobody else doing that. Now, I know it sells tickets. I know it puts y'all on the map, but it also gives you extra little swag to your step. You know what I'm saying? Pre-game, they came out, stood on Oregon's thing midfield, the emblem and all of that. Like, you know, it's very rare that people do that. It could be seen as a sign of disrespect. Oregon didn't need no more motivation. But sometimes when people are overly confident, something has to happen to bring them back down and be humble. The reality is
a slice of humble pie.
Exactly. So the reality is sometimes you could win humbly and sometimes you could win, you know, gracefully. Sometimes you could win quietly and sometimes you could win loudly. And this was absolutely needed. So Deion and including the players could understand no matter how confident they are, they could get their ass whooped if they don't play a really great game. And like you said, Deion, like y'all both said, Deion knows that he's missing a lot of players in order to make this team as great as they actually could be. But that's where Oregon spanking comes into play. Because once you beat 3 different teams or 2, whatever, and then you come in thinking you might be able to beat Oregon, the reality sets in. Now, let's see what happens with this USC game because they're going against a Heisman candidate in Caleb. So we'll see what happens versus USC to either further boost their confidence and bring it back up or to give them some more level of humble pie.
Let me put some respect on that man's name. He is the current Heisman Trophy winner right now. He still has last year's trophy.
Okay.
That's a bad boy they're going up against right now, all right?
Yes, thank you for that because I did not remember who won the Heisman last year. So thank you for giving me that perspective and that insight real quick. because I know he's a favorite going into this season already. So I that's the only reason why I mentioned that. So from Colorado, let's go into the NFL. Let's go into the NFL real quick, Kay. I sent you guys a list of, topics for this specific discussion. There was a lot of wins and losses, a lot of games and things that's happened. And since then, we've had Thursday night football as well. So what I'm just gonna do real quick, just on a real quick humble, I'm just gonna run off the scores for week 3. Let's run off the scores for week 3 real quick. Okay, San Francisco beat the Giants 30-12. The Baltimore Ravens lost to the Indiana Colts 22-19. Cleveland Browns spanked the Tennessee Titans 27-3. Miami put 70 points up on Denver 70-20. New England beat the Jets 15-10. Buffalo 37-3 over Washington. Detroit 20-6 over Atlanta. Green Bay squeaked out a win 18-17 over New Orleans Saints. The Houston Texans beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 37-17. The Chargers beat the Vikings 28-24. The Seahawks beat the Carolina Panthers 37-27. Dallas lost to the Arizona Cardinals 28-16. KC beat the Chicago Bears 41-10. Pittsburgh beat Las Vegas 23-18. And Monday night we had Philly beat Tampa Bay 25-11, and the Chargers lost to the Bengals 19-16. Now, the question that I posed to you guys in for these topics for this show, what was your worst? No, let's start with this one. What was the biggest upset win in week 3? Go ahead, Kay.
How about them cowgirls? I'm gonna say that for y'all one more time. How about them cowgirls?
Okay.
They were to mop the floor with Arizona. Everybody in the sports world was talking about Super Bowl champs, about this Parsons being the MVP and how unstoppable they are and how they look so great because they played against 2 sorry New York teams. I'm just gonna say it. Like I said it week 1. We was just talking about it. Offensive line, defensive line. They have that over the Giants, so they're, Jets, the same thing. Arizona with their chests out, thinking that the Cardinals was just going to lay down, and Joshua Dobbs put some licks on that ass. You heard? Dobbs put some licks on that ass. James Conner was running on that ass. You know what I'm saying? Hollywood was catching anything on that ass. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, the Cowgirls look like how we know they're going to look. We normal NFL fans that watch them every year. We know. But it's the delusional fan base that every year thinks they're going to be a Super Bowl fucking winner. You know what I'm saying? But that was the biggest upset. That was the biggest upset. Cost a lot of people good fucking money. Bitch ass cowgirls got Cardinals. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed watching that shit so fucking much. Yeah.
Damn shame. Go ahead, Ferg. What you got for us, Ferg?
So there's 2 things. I agree with the Cowboys being the upset of the week, but that wasn't the game that made me the most upset. I'll tell you right now.
That's a great way to put it, Ferg. That's a great way to put it.
You already know what game made me upset. Fucking Zach Wilson and his bitch ass. But that's all I'm going to say about him. But because Joe Namath put him on blast, so that's good enough for me. But yes, I agree with the Cowboys being the upset of the week, mainly because Micah Parsons, and look, I'm not trying to throw no shade, but he's going against two weak offensive linemen. You know what I'm saying? Going against, Evan Neal hasn't done what he's supposed to be doing yet. The Jets O-line is still under construction, as we can see. So Dallas had two gift wraps when it comes to defense, right? And, this was kind of a humbling a loss for them. But I also see other teams taking tape from this game. It basically exposed Dallas very early. And it's funny, if there's one thing about Mike McCarthy sits on that one Super Bowl, right? And look, I'm not going to take credit away from him being a great play caller, but when Mike McCarthy gets exposed, he doesn't adjust well. He doesn't adjust well. And showing up against two mediocre teams, okay, great. This is why a lot of people still had San Francisco as the best team in the NFC, not the Cowboys, because San Francisco been doing it now for 3-4 years. They literally just need a quarterback. They could have won the Super Bowl.
What
I mean?
I just want to add one thing while you're on the topic. Mike McCarthy also had Aaron fucking Rodgers.
Yeah, I know, and we don't. Fucking shit, man.
No. I mean, right now he's play calling for Prescott.
No, so I know.
When he wasn't adjusting, he still had A-Rod to make him look great. Now you got that.
Absolutely.
And it's not the same.
Think about it from this perspective. And you're right, because for people who don't understand what you're saying, right? Dak Prescott ain't calling the same audibles that Aaron Rodgers is calling. You get what I'm saying? He ain't checking out the same plays. Look, Dak Prescott's talented. He's great. But a lot of people will tell you, come December and January, Dak Prescott shows you what he is. Every year shows you what he is.
He's mediocre. That's what he is. Mediocre.
Wait. So let's give Dak some props here, right? I'm gonna give him some props. Watch this, Kay. Watch this, Kay. I'm giving Dak props because at least he's starting to be shitty early, which means he may have a good October. He's usually outstanding in the first games of the season. You're roaring the Cowboys to the certain records, throwing all these passes, hundreds of yards, looking great. Everybody's talking crazy about Dak, and then he shits it up in the playoffs. So come late in the season, but at least he's been shitting it up early. So maybe he's trying to reverse his fortunes.
Because it's funny, right? Even against the Jets, Dak didn't win them that game. Their defense won that game.
That's why I'm saying he hasn't played well.
Yeah.
He hasn't played well.
He hasn't been doing it all that. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Which leads us into the other topic that we have in regards to the NFL. What was the worst or best QB performance of Week 3? I already know what first we know what first pick's gonna be.
I'm sorry. All right. It's back to back that I'm picking the same person, but I have to. I got to go with Tua Tagovailoa again. I got to go with Tua as the best quarterback performance that I've seen this week. Tua. And I got to say him because at the end of last season, we didn't know if this man would ever play football again. We didn't know if this man was ever going to play football again in his life. Okay? So the fact that this man is playing football and is absolutely balling, damn near flawlessly balling, I have to mention him. His team put up 70 fucking points.
Yeah.
Denver defense is not slouches. It's not like, oh, everybody scores 50 on Denver. No, they fucking don't. Tell me when. Show me the stats. That's not what Denver defense does. They don't allow niggas to just embarrass them like that. So that performance that Tua put up last week, that offense that Tua led last, that was fucking amazing. amazing. And right now, through the first 3 weeks of the NFL, Tua Tagovailoa is absolutely the leader, the head one option for MVP. Absolutely. Have to say, I am Tua. Tua's been that nigga.
Well, before we go any further with specifically that topic, because I didn't give my my pick for the worst the biggest upset, right? So real quick, I just want to put out there that the upset, Dallas wasn't an upset for me because I don't believe in Dallas. I don't believe in Dallas. I always feel like they're gonna fumble somewhere across the board. So I wasn't super surprised at that, right? So with that being said,
you believe in Joshua Dobbs and James Conner?
No. See, I didn't even. Kay, you know I don't even watch, right? You know I don't watch. So ladies and gentlemen, I do not literally watch the NFL, right? So the reality is, I didn't know that their starting QB was not playing. It wasn't until after they won, and and there was so much talk of who this quarterback was that won them the game that I did even not know that Kyler Murray didn't even play. Right now, with that being said, the upset for me was Houston Texans spanking the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, right, that was the pick for me. I didn't expect that. Now, it's any given Sunday, so a team could beat you. That's not my issue. You was not supposed to spank by 20 points the Jacksonville Jaguars, who's coming into this year high on people's radar after what they did last year. In another year of Trevor Lawrence, more weapons, etc., so forth. They retooled. They're supposed to be way better than this. To get spanked and to give up 37 points to the Texans, who's supposed to be in rebuild? Nah, okay. I didn't. That was the upset for me, which to me just leads into the best and the worst QB performance. Since nobody in their right minds know who the fuck Dobbs is, I'm giving best QB performance to that man. The man couldn't even find his own jersey. He went to try to buy his own jersey. They ain't have it in no damn stores. You know why? Because he just got into the league and he beat the Dallas Cowgirls. So the best QB performance is going to that man Dobbs. Okay. And the worst QB performance, who I want to give this to?
Stop delaying it, man. You know that answer.
It's Dak. Yeah, it's still Dak. It's still Dak. Worst QB performance is still Dak. So same game. Best QB performance for Dobbs. Worst QB performance.
I got you right now.
Worse than Zach Wilson?
Ferg, okay.
What?
My best performance is Tua, and my worst performance is Zach Wilson. Is Zach?
Yeah.
Because you know what?
It gotta be Zach.
You know why Zach Wilson? Because as a man, I don't give a fuck. As a man, the one team that Zach Wilson always plays against is the fucking Patriots. All right? Throughout his tenure with the Jets, he always plays against the fucking Patriots, and he always fucking loses. There's shit about, he was confused.
Yep, and it's
about the my nigga. You should have figured out Belichick's scheme. Played him like bruh.
Let me tell you something. Both of y'all disappoint me as sports fans, but I also know that you're Jets fans. So, but you both disappoint me as sports fans. Now, let me tell you why. It's Bill Belichick, first of all. I don't care how many times you played this guy. There's plenty of guys that play Bill Belichick. The hardest games are division games. We know that it's divisional games, right? People that's in your division. Those are the hardest games, right? No matter how good or bad you're supposed to be. Plus, it's Bill Belichick. And if it's anything he's going to be, is prepared. Zach Wilson, as Kay just mentioned, has never shown he can beat Bill Belichick, right? In his Jet tenure. So why would you expect a better performance now? Okay? It's Zach Wilson. No. Last week we was talking about how you're going to replace him. And now you talk about you're disappointed in his performance. He did exactly what you should expect.
All right, let me ask you a question. If you got two kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know one of them ain't smart at all, just dumb, nothing you can do, tutoring, whatever you name it. All right. Even if they keep failing the test every week, you still gonna be mad that they failed, even though you knew they weren't gonna pass. So
No,
my
I'm
thing,
not. I'm not gonna be mad he failed.
so you just
You
gonna let
know,
it be dumb.
Ferg, you're not gonna ask your child that you know is dumb, did he really give it his best shot? That's really
No.
what you want to know. You want to
What?
know, as dumb as he is, did he give it his best effort?
So here's my problem. My problem with that is this. As bad as Zach played, I know that wasn't his best. You know why? Watching tape afterwards, seeing how many times he missed Garrett Wilson, how many times he missed Lazard, checking down on fourth down when you need the first to keep the game going. Like, yo, you don't understand. And look, it bothers me because it's not like you're seeing this guy come in the league for the first time. You're literally watching a regression from Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson wasn't this bad when he first started. He's gotten worse. He's gotten worse. The reason why I don't want to see him on the field anymore is because I'm truly afraid that they're going to lose the defense. These guys are they're not going to be playing knowing, hey, we're going to do everything we can to get a 3 and out just to get right back on the field in 10 seconds. We might as well just let these dudes score and get a good workout. What's the point? You know, and then the offensive line's not going to block for you. Think about it. My dude needs 5 seconds to go through his progressions. That's a long time. Most offensive lines give you 3 seconds or less.
And that's a good O-line.
Huh?
And most good offensive lines give you 3 seconds.
That's my point. So the reason why a lot of quarterbacks are mobile now is because you're seeing a lot of offensive line play coming from college. It's not good. They may be the top offensive linemen in college, but when they get to the league, they're getting run over by D linemen. And what you thought was a good offensive lineman is a so-so offensive lineman. So now you got a lot of mobile quarterbacks running out of the pocket, taking them away from the rush. And the thing that bothers me with Zach is he's got the legs, but what's between his ears makes no sense. He's got the athletic ability. He's got the arm. He's got the legs to run out the pocket. But it's like the minute you see Zach do something other quarterbacks do, you know he's going to mess it up. It's like he gave us one drive. Kay know exactly what I'm talking about. We drove down the field and scored a touchdown. I think it was the start of the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And they look great. They look like they were running a no huddle. And you know why that worked? Because Zach didn't have to think. The minute you tell Zach to think, it's a wrap. He can't do it. He can't do it.
So you gave a long, drawn-out answer to D. I'll keep it nice and short for you, D. Nice and short, okay? The Jets have a way better improved team this year than last year, both offensively and defensively. If Aaron Rodgers was playing, he would have scored like 40 on them motherfuckers.
Oh, facts.
He would have scored like 40. He would have put up like 40 on them. So this is why it's so disappointing. And D, how dare you call us out as sports fans when you sitting up here talking about you ain't no Kyler Murray was hurt. That nigga been hurt since last year, November. He ain't playing a lick this season.
I know he didn't play this season. I know he was out the first two games.
Let me finish with you because you disappointed in us.
Okay, get him.
Get back at you. Joshua Dobbs has started all 3 games this year for the Arizona Cardinals. He's been in the league for about 3-4 years. He was a backup down in Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? He's from Tennessee. He's very educated. He's like he has like a sports science degree. The nigga's like a astronaut outside of.
He's a genius. Yeah.
There you go. So he's been in the league for a little bit, and he started all these games. So put some respect on that man's name. You heard?
Yeah, listen, I don't care how many games this year he started. Nobody still remembered that man's name. But that's neither here or there. I'm gonna give you gentlemen an opportunity because I think K was the only person a little bit on the fence because it was me, you. It might have been me, you, and Easy, or it might have been us and Ferg. But I remember some Jets fans saying y'all need to stick with Zach Wilson. Do y'all want to repent? Do y'all want to repent and change that and say, please, football gods, let's just grab us a backup QB, somebody who will not be making these same mistakes, because I can't bear to watch another week of Zach Wilson fucking it up, and I refuse to watch him lose the rest of the team for his fuckery.
So let me say this, because I know you don't follow sports as much as I do. Since last week, they have signed Trevor Siemian.
I know. That did nothing for me, though, but go ahead. I don't know if it does anything for you as a Jet fan, but go ahead.
I mean, Trevor Siemian is a better quarterback than Zach Wilson. He is.
Yeah.
So what it is. Trevor Siemian, because I'm happy Ferg just broke down Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson has all the physical tools. He has an arm, he has a leg, he has all the athletic ability. He has all of that over Trevor Siemian. But Trevor Siemian can think and go through progressions faster than Zach, and he can still throw that ball and win games. He's a quarterback, he's a veteran quarterback, and he's been in the league. He's been around the league. So, with that being said, I give the stage to you, Ferg.
Listen, I was on board with E, given the option, because we were going to have to trade for some of these guys, and some of them we would have had to have signed off NBC broadcasts. Like Matt Ryan's doing games right now. You know what I'm saying? RG3's on ESPN. A lot of the names that we would have taken were really not available, right? I gotta be honest with you.
Wait, Carson Wentz and Nick Foles.
So, okay, I'm glad you mentioned those. Carson Wentz, yeah, the talent is there, but given the Jets locker room the way it's already fragmented with Zach, I don't know if I want to bring Carson Wentz in to that locker room right now, given his history with players not liking him.
Nick Foles would have been perfect.
Nick Foles, I would have taken Nick Foles. I really would have, but I also think that there's a bit of stubbornness in the Jets front office in not wanting to admit that they fucked up the Zach Wilson pick. That's part of it. And then on the other side, too, is you needed someone who could pick up that offense quickly. And I think that them going after Trevor Siemian wasn't an accident. He's already been with the Jets, but he's also very familiar with the West Coast offense. And you need someone that could pick up that shit quick, which means this is Zach Wilson's last week as a Jet, period. I don't think Zach Wilson can get up from this unless Aaron Rodgers is guaranteed to come back next year and they give Zach another redshirt year. But then if you do that, now you're saying to yourself, are you giving Zach a 5th-year option? So there's a lot of different things that go into it. Trevor Siemian makes sense because, like Kay said, he can read a defense. He won't check you from a good play to a bad play or a bad play to a worse play. And he'll give you a legitimate chance to at least rest your defense. The last game we played against the Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken, the Jets defense was on the field for 43 minutes. It's a 60-minute game. You feel for 43 minutes as a defense. And that's all because the offense couldn't hold the ball. So, okay, I'm with you 1,000%. I was wrong. I thought Zach had matured. He hasn't. He's still a bitch. And let's go, Trevor.
He said he's still a bitch. Okay, so listen. I just want to put this.
He out there messing with them New Jersey Mills and all that. Not getting in the playbook.
He getting in the playbook, all right. This is the wrong playbook. Imagine Zach Wilson's skill set and actual physical gifts with Chad Pennington's mind.
Oh my God!
Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that?
Chad Pennington could easily.
Chad Pennington, if he just had those gifts naturally, oh my God. So I'm just talking about, like, because to me, he didn't have the arm. He wasn't athletic. He could run like that, but he was just one of the smartest quarterbacks the Jets ever had, point blank and period.
Bro, Chad Pennington's one of the smartest quarterbacks in the history of the league as far as intelligence. Like, I'm shocked that he didn't go into like offensive coordinating and coaching into the NFL, because the guy's football IQ was through the roof. It's off. But you know what? And I don't mean to, to get on our, woe is me is the Jets thing, but it's so Jets that we got bits and pieces of quarterbacks that we would have to put together to get our all-time. Because even Joe Namath, as great as Joe Namath was, right? Back when he played, a lot of quarterbacks had more interceptions than touchdown passes, because defenses were literally allowed to hit you on your routes. But statistically, Chad Pennington could have easily been our best quarterback if he never got hurt.
Yep.
He could have been. He could have been. It's like the Knicks. Like, we haven't had a point guard since Clyde. Niggas haven't had a quarterback since Joe Namath, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to stick with football. We ain't going to make the predictions just yet because we have to talk about week 4. But I want to take this opportunity to do something I love to do with my co-hosts on the show, and do blind reactions. So what we're going to do left to right, right? So meaning you're going to answer. This is quick fire answers. I want quick fire answers. So y'all got to be quick on your feet for this one, all right? I got a good one for you. All right, I got a good one for you. Quick on your feet. Give me your answers. We're going to start with K, and then you go, Ferg, and I'll give my answer, and then we'll go to the next one, all right? Y'all ready?
Do it.
Let's do it. All right. In their prime, you have to pick. This is the running back edition of the NFL. You got to pick the running back in their prime. Priest Holmes or Terrell Davis?
Say that again.
Priest Holmes or Terrell Davis?
TD.
All right. They lost Ferg. I'm taking TD too. LaDainian Tomlinson or Marshall Faulk?
Marshall Faulk.
I'm going easy. Marshall Faulk too. I'm going easy. Marshall Faulk too.
Easy.
Chris Johnson or Shady McCoy?
Chris Johnson.
Ooh, I'll take Shady. I'm taking Shady. Curtis Martin or Jamal Lewis?
Ooh, Curtis.
Ooh, I'm stuck between the two. I can't pick. I'll be honest with you.
Curtis Martin.
Everything tells me Jamal Lewis, but I can't pick. All right. This is one. I can't pick. All right. So I had one in here. I don't think I'm gonna use it, but I'm gonna use these last 3. You got to pick between 3 running backs on these last 2. Okay. Ready? AP, Marshawn Lynch, or Frank Gore?
AP.
I'm going AP too in their prime. Eddie George. Right. Yeah, it's easy. AP is easy for me. Eddie George, Clinton Portis, or Sean Alexander?
Wait, say the last two. Eddie George who?
Eddie George, Clinton Portis, or Sean Alexander?
Eddie George for me. I was just an Eddie George fan. I'm a huge Eddie George fan. You know me. That was back with Steve McNair, Tennessee Titans.
Yeah. What you got? What you got, Ferg? Who you got? I just named 3.
Yeah, my service got cut off for some reason, but last I heard was Priest Holmes, Terrell Davis. I'm going Terrell Davis.
All right, so we're gonna let you catch up real quick. So Chris Johnson or Shady McCoy?
Ooh, Shady McCoy.
Okay, LaDainian Tomlinson or Marshall Faulk?
Tomlinson.
Ooh, Curtis Martin or Jamal Lewis?
Martin. You already know.
All right, and then it's Adrian Peterson. This is out of 3 people. It's Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, or Frank Gore in their prime.
In their prime, AP.
AP. Okay, and then the last one, which you just heard, Eddie George, Clinton Portis, or Sean Alexander?
Eddie George.
Eddie George? I'm going to say...
Yeah.
I'm going to say Eddie George. Well, actually, I'm going to go with Clinton Portis.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Clinton Portis. Now, this is the one that I didn't want to say, but I'm kind of interested. I want to get you guys' perspective. It should be... Most people's going to go with one, but I'm going to try it anyway. Walter Payton or Bo Jackson in their prime?
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton.
It got to be Walter Payton, right? It almost has to be. I didn't like it. I wasn't going to use it because I didn't really like it. But Bo was so crazy before the injuries. It was like, but ain't nobody was touching sweetness. It was just it's different. It's different.
It's like Bo was the greatest athlete that we seen at the time. That's what made Bo so amazing. Because athletically, he was just everything that we've never seen before. He did everything. Mm-hmm. But as a pure running back, the only thing that even comes close to Walter Payton is Barry Sanders in my book.
It's Barry Sanders, right? Yeah, I was gonna put him with Barry. I just feel like that was gonna be a stalemate. You know what I'm saying? That was one of those joints that's a stalemate. You know?
But yeah, what you say, sweetness. The only thing that even touches sweetness is Barry. So
yeah, I got You know what it is with Bo? Bo is in a different category when it comes to football. I think if you wanted to compare Bo to anybody, you might want to put him and Deion in their own category as far as multi-sport athletes and that kind of thing. Because Bo definitely wasn't the best running back we've seen, but shit, for somebody that could do him all, like somebody that was great at everything, yeah, it's pretty damn good.
So my question is this to you now. It just makes me want to wonder, where do you feel like, how good do you feel Bo Jackson was as a running back? Let's take the multi-sports away. As a running back, like, this is the best way I could put it. In the video game, Bo Jackson was damn near unstoppable because that's what he was on the football field when he was playing. And you remember the Tecmo Bowl days, Kay? We used to play Tecmo Bowls. Bo Jackson was one of those dudes you couldn't catch. Once he got ahead of you, he was gone. And he could.
But
and
if you
when you went to try to tackle him, niggas would fly off. Right?
That was the one cheat code. Like, that was the rule. If you play in Tecmo Bowl, you can't play with Bo Jackson, or else I'm not playing.
But we can. I'll say this, because Ferg, you definitely took it right off of my. You know what I'm saying? Bo Jackson and Deion. Bo Jackson was a better baseball player than Deion, because Bo was so amazing and was doing stuff that Bo in baseball that still hasn't been touched. He got records for the A's and in MLB that won't ever be touched because it was so amazing. And he was going to break all-time records in baseball. But Deion easily was the ball player than Bo Jackson because of how amazing Prime was as a defender and an offensive player. Bo to me, barely is top 10 all-time running backs. He's going to make my list probably, but it's going to be barely top 10. Running backs better than Bo Jackson, just as pure running backs. Forget all-around sport. This is a pure running back. I can name 10 running backs better than Bo Jackson.
Okay. Okay.
I agree with you 1,000%.
Okay, I can respect that. I can respect that. So after blind reactions, let's go into what's ultimately one of the most hottest topic going on in sports right now, which is in the NBA. Damian Lillard is now a Milwaukee Buck for a bag of Cheetos and some popcorn, some smart food popcorn, white cheddar popcorn. Okay.
Not the trade. What do you mean? You don't think?
Nah. Listen. Damian Lillard was supposed to be going for a boatload of shit. Whoever gets Damian Lillard was supposed to give up a lot. They gave up Grayson Allen and Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard.
And picks.
How many picks did they give up? How many picks they gave up?
I think they gave up what? 2 unprotected?
Yeah.
Milwaukee ain't got no picks now.
Yeah, no, they gave up 2 unprotected and 1 more pick. They gave up 3 picks.
It was a pick. That was a pick swap, wasn't it?
The third one was a pick swap.
Yeah. And you know, those pick swaps are going to be more important than the draft picks themselves. Watch. Because you saw what Dallas did this year with the Knicks when it was time for them to give us a pick, right? They tanked so that they would give it to us. Now, the pick swap, no matter where you land, we swapping picks, don't matter. There's no condition to the swap. And if you look at the timeline, Milwaukee's going all in. They're going all in. So anything after 2025, 2026, that's value. That's real value. So it's not that they didn't give up a lot. It's just that Portland did very well.
I expected more. And Ferg, you know where my frustration comes from. You know where my frustration comes from.
Same here.
Every time there's a time for a trade, we see somebody big go for much less than what I expect and what's being required of the New York Knicks. Okay, and that's where my frustration comes in. Okay, because I think people.
Wait, no, I'm not gonna allow y'all to do this. I'm not gonna allow y'all to do this. Okay, I have to speak. Don't do this. The topic is the trade and Damian Lillard being with Milwaukee. Don't.
It is. That's why. I'm not changing the topic, sir. I'm not changing the topic. You Brooklyn net hater. Nobody's changing the topic, okay? I'm just saying my frustration when I see these big names go. I see a lot of big names go. I've seen Kevin Durant. I've seen now Damian Lillard. And what I'm saying is that
why ain't on the set? Y'all ain't pull it for Donovan Mitchell. Y'all ain't go all in.
What, sir.
I don't want to hear it.
Sir.
I don't want to hear it.
Sir, we know what your position is. We know what your position is to the New York Knicks, sir. Okay? We know what your position is with the New York Knicks. And you know what I love about people? They talk themselves into their own corner. That's what you just did. You said we didn't pull the trigger. But wait, watch this. Watch this, Ferg. Watch this. You said we didn't pull the trigger. Wait, you said we did not pull the trigger for Donovan Mitchell, right? Did we not pull the trigger? We didn't pull the trigger for Donovan Mitchell.
And Phoenix, please.
Look, we didn't pull the trigger for Donovan Mitchell, right? Right or wrong? Did we not pull the trigger for Donovan Mitchell? You're right. Now, I just got to make this point because this is where you took it. There are 2 players, Damian Lillard, right? Damian Lillard and Kevin Durant, who, in my opinion, went to other teams for less than what was being required of Donovan Mitchell. and what was traded for Donovan Mitchell. That is my point. That's part of my point. Now, what I'm saying to you is this. I think KD is better than Donovan Mitchell. Less went for KD, right? And you can argue that less went for Damian Lillard. But
that's your
it's all
opinion.
about
I think I lost you guys.
and I'm
Opinion.
voicing my opinion, sir. I am. I'm saying that
The trade that just went down doesn't involve none of them. Let's talk about what's happening right now, please. That's what I'm saying.
I am talking about that. I'm saying, what's the first thing I said? I said Damian Lillard went to the Milwaukee Bucks, and I said for a box, some Cheetos and some smart popcorn. That's what I thought, right? That's my feeling. 2 picks and a trade and a pick swap with Grayson Allen and Drew Holiday. I expected there to be a bigger asking price, right? Now, since you want to stick on topic, we'll stick on topic. Watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna stick on topic. He wanted to go to Miami Heat allegedly, right? Now, the Miami Heat, I don't feel like they don't have a Drew Holiday, but the only thing that would be considered the equivalent to a Drew Holiday in regards to value, right? Being that good, he's not as good as the defender, but it would have to be Tyler Hero, right? So Tyler Hero would have to be the Drew Holiday of the deal for Miami. Let's just say that. I'm not saying they're the same type of player, right? So you got Tyler Hero would have had to been leaving from Miami to go to Portland or wherever, right? Now, as far as the Grayson Allens, right? I feel like they had, if not equal or better pieces than a Grayson Allen to offer them as a second piece, right? That's just my opinion. Let's say they also had to give up 2 picks. That means if Miami had 2 picks, a swap, Tyler Hero, and let's say Caleb Martin, let's just use that as an example, right? They want to give them those guys for Damian Lillard. That means they were asking for way more than that and didn't want to do it. And Miami didn't want to do it.
But you're not acknowledging that DeAndre Ayton went in a trade, my brother.
No, I didn't get to that point yet. That part of the trade has to do with money. They could imagine Miami including DeAndre Ayton in the trade as a 13 deal. That doesn't mean that it still could have happened for Miami. But that means what they were also requesting from Miami was different from what they was taking from the Bucks. They've been good. Think about how long they've been in negotiation with Miami for Dame. Every package deal available was probably brought to the table.
I don't like that we are talking hypothetically.
Well, see, here's the thing.
When we could talk about what's happened right now and what's going on right now. Forget all the hypothetical shit, B. Forget all that. Let's talk about the trade. All right? Like a lot of players went like it's a big thing happening right now. You know that shit you're talking about.
Listen, every team in the trade to me, right? Every team in the trade, in this 3-team trade, won in some fashion, shape.
Yeah.
Every team won, right? I don't feel like nobody's a freaking loser in this trade. I don't feel like anybody's a loser. Let's get this correct. We knew Phoenix had to dump salary. It was already going to be a struggle for them to keep Ayton in the offense with all these scorers, right? They was going to have to figure out a way for him to get his buckets and whatever the case may be and keep him happy. This works out for Ayton being in Portland, right? Nurkic couldn't even stay healthy, so it doesn't even matter that he left, but now they don't have to worry about his offense. He could just rebound and play defense over in Phoenix. They don't have to worry about Nurkic. He's a great putback guy. He'll get the cleanup points and all of this, that. He'll play in the flow of the offense, right? So it works for Phoenix. Then they get bench help with Grayson Allen, right? So that works for Phoenix, right? Milwaukee gets their point guard and basically has a big 3 in Lillard, fucking Giannis, and Middleton, right? You still got Brook Lopez. You could start Connaughton. You could do, they got so many different versions they could make of a starting lineup, right? To me, they're the favorite in the East. Yeah. But we're going to talk about that in a second, right? And then Portland already was guard heavy or had the guards that they wanted in the future. They got Sharp, they got Anthony Simon, right? So now you just got a big man that you can actually feed in the offense in DeAndre Ayton. He should really kill over there with no problem. If I'm correct, they have what's the guy's name? Scoot Henderson. They have Scoot.
Yeah.
They have Scoot Henderson over there. So right now they look like they got the 1, 2, and the 3 over there. The four could be anybody, and then you got Ayton, right? So Portland's looking good. Everybody
Grant
in this.
There? Jeremy Grant?
Yes, Jeremy Grant is the 4. So right now, Portland is looking crazy.
I'll take it a step further. Now, because this is what I want to talk about. I'll take it a step further. They're not keeping Drew Holiday because Drew Holiday is the same thing like
they're gonna trade him. They're trading.
And they're trading Drew, so they can. So not only did they acquire who every young guard and that young team needed was a veteran center who's looking for a new start. D, you've been on Ayton and you're a huge Ayton fan. You're probably the biggest. So I know you're excited about his potential in Portland. He could actually be the #1 option scoring wise in Portland, DeAndre Ayton. You know, Portland also they got rid of people like Nas Little. Nasir Little was somebody who was active and about to be the man out there. And they said, no, we don't want you to be the man because you being the man doesn't help us. You go be the man on Phoenix bench. And that's great for Phoenix. You didn't mention him, but Nas Little is a beast. Like he's just a great.
I didn't know he was part of. Excuse me, Ken. I didn't know he was part of the deal at all. Okay.
Yes. Nas Little left Portland, which is a good move because, like I said, in Portland, he was gonna be that dude. Like because he's been there for so long, and it's like, all right, everybody's ain't gonna come and steal my shine. I got to get my contract and figure myself out in the league. So he was gonna try to start and be the beast out there. And they like, nah, we don't want that. We rather Ayton come in and be the beast here, and you go off Phoenix bench and go figure that shit out in Phoenix, or even start for Phoenix. You don't know because he's that tough all around. Run no place for, but it's gonna fill up the stat sheet. You know what I'm saying? He's like a John Kogi, but a little bit bigger. Not a little bigger. He's bigger than a Kogi. But anyway, the trade works out for everybody. Like you said, I will totally agree with that. It's good for Milwaukee. It's great for Phoenix. I think Phoenix. This is like the best. And out of all the acquisitions and all the trades that Phoenix has made this offseason, this one is the best one. And like every player they brought in makes sense. Like Nurk, you touched on a little bit, but the part of Nurkic's game that you didn't touch on is that he is a great passer. He is a great passer. He will average 4 to 5 assists. He's a great passing big man. He can pass from the high post, from the low post. He has great hands, and his double-doubles are natural. You ain't got to worry about him getting a double-double. He's going to get his double-double because he hits free throws. He's a veteran player. He has a very, very, very high basketball IQ. And it's just everything that they needed and everything that DeAndre Ayton didn't bring to the floor is everything that Kirk is going to bring to the floor night in and night out when he's healthy. And being that he's a vet, and like you said, he has a history of not, playing all the games. They ain't got to play him because they know in the later on inside the season, inside the playoffs when they really need him. So he could be that big man that plays for now. Let's just keep him healthy. But later on in the season, we're going to ramp up his minutes, and it's going to be
Yeah, Nurkic has always been a poor man's Joker to me. They played together, and if he could have stayed healthy, Nurkic would be one of the top centers in the league by now. But health has been an issue for him. So you're right. I think every team definitely won. I'm still not a believer in Phoenix. I don't care how many pieces they have over there. I think, and I know you know this, Kay, that I think the biggest thing they're missing is a true point guard. They may try to convert somebody to be the point guard, but that's different from someone who's done it well at a specific level for all these scorers and making sure everybody gets the ball in the right place. So we'll see how they piece this all together, especially with a new coach. We'll see how that all works out. Like I said.
Now, hold up, D. We ain't get Ferg opinion. It's been me and you going. Let's go, Ferg. How you feel about it? Talking with it, my brother.
So, I agree with everything you said as far as, all the teams winning. This is one of the fairest trades that I've seen in a very long time, with 3 teams involved where they all won the trade. Because from every perspective, it made sense. Milwaukee had to go all in because Giannis started chirping. You know what I mean? And once your player starts chirping, this is the kind of shit that Joel Embiid wanted to see get done and didn't get done. You get what I'm saying? Giannis started chirping, talking about, hey, I need to see commitment from the front office, blah, 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 blah. And what do? They go out and get Dame Lillard. Nobody even heard of Milwaukee being in the discussion. All right? It was all Miami. That's all you heard. And out of nowhere, something tells me Milwaukee called Phoenix like, yo, let's get this done. Nobody's gonna see it coming. They probably negotiated for 3 days because all we heard was Miami. And out of nowhere, they get a much better deal, and credit to Portland for not just, bending to Damian Lillard and be like, yo, you want to go to Miami? All right, fine. We're just gonna send you to Miami for a bag of balls. Pause. It made sense that they still put him in the best possible basketball situation he's ever been in. This is Damian Lillard's best chance to actually win a chip. The entire time that he's been in the league, this is the best team he's gonna be on. Now, it ain't Miami, it's Milwaukee, but who gives a shit? If he wants to win, this is his best chance to win. DeAndre Ayton's attitude, it makes sense to send him to somewhere like Portland, where he could easily be the A1 guy out there. He don't got to compete with Kevin Durant and Booker and Bradley Beal, because honestly, when you look at those 3 guys, DeAndre Ayton's the 4th guy, right? And he was already bitching last season. You bring in Bradley Beal, he ain't gonna see the ball at all. So that makes sense for them. And from like the Nurkic, solid move for Phoenix, because you don't need him to be a full-time guy. As long as you got Nurkic for the playoffs, you straight. But one thing I wanted to add, though, because I know D wanted to make this point, and believe me, I feel it as well. It almost seems as if the Knicks' price is always higher. But the one thing I will say is, it's because our contracts are so good. That's why. Teams want the players we have because of the contracts they're on. We don't have a player on our team that isn't tradable. Everybody on the Knicks is tradable, except for Fournier, because he fucking can't keep his mouth shut. But in reality, every contract we have is tradable. So the reason why this trade was easy for Milwaukee to do is because of Holiday's salary. Holiday's making $35 million. Grayson's only making $9 million. Dame is making $45 million. The math worked immediately, which is why for the Knicks to have done a deal like that, literally, RJ's out the door. You might have to put Grimes in there. You might have to put Quickly in there. So that's the same reason why Miami couldn't get the deal done. Miami already lost Strus. They lost Gabe Vincent. So they lost all their filling guys for that trade, right?
Wait, hold on, Ferg. Where did Strus go? I know Vincent went to the Lakers, right?
Cleveland.
Strus went to Cleveland. Yeah. Thanks for that.
So when you think of what Miami had to offer, although that's where Dame said he wanted to go, they're not offering anything serious. Tyler Hero is definitely overpaid, right? So the contract would have worked, but the package that Miami was offering wasn't as good as what Portland was going to get out of this trade. So the trade went the way it did. I think it's the best possible trade they could have got. And yeah, as a Knicks fan, yeah, it's kind of it's odd to see that we can't get a deal like that done. But part of it is because we've been shrewd in the contracts we give up. So we got to add more pieces to get a deal done. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
So I have a question for you fellas, because as the NBA season approaches, we have been, as NBA fans, we've been waiting patiently. And what I mean by that patiently, we've been waiting patiently for these two deals to be done. The other deal is James Harden. It's been Damian Lillard and it's been James Harden. Where are these two guys going to land? And I truly believe that anybody that's an NBA fan knew that once Dame Lillard got traded and once James Harden lands wherever he's going to land, it would start to make a lot of more moving pieces happen in the NBA, meaning people were going to make some moves to try to compete with other teams in their conferences, right? With this Dame Lillard move, Boston, Philly, Miami, anybody that was remotely close to anything has to be looking now at Milwaukee like, oh shit, how the fuck are we going to compete with these guys, right? And with that being said, Embiid has already now want to put a public statement out. Now he wants to follow the Giannis train of thought all late in the game. Do you think he gets traded? Do you think Philly is able to make a move to try to compete with what's just happened with Milwaukee? Do you think Boston tries to make a move? Because I don't think KP is going to be it. I don't think KP is going to be enough. Do we have to wait for Harden to be moved before we see something else dramatic happen? Or is that the next big shoe that's going to fall? Embiid?
I honestly, bro, they're all scrambling to get Drew Holiday right now. He fits on all their teams. He fits on all their teams. Listen, Drew Holiday fits in Boston. He certainly fits in Philly. And you know he fits in Miami. And what you got to understand is there's a race now to be the first one to get him, to even give yourself a chance in the Eastern Conference. Because what you got to understand here is this. James Harden right now is what's holding Philly back, right? If Philly can find somebody to eat the Harden salary in a 3-team deal where they can get Holiday back to Philly to pair up with Maxey and Embiid, that buys you the time you need to try to do something to keep Embiid there if you're Philly. If you're Miami,
let me help you out. Let me jump in and help you out.
Yeah.
Let me help you. I got that third team, that third player that people are forgetting about. The Chicago Bulls. DeRozan and Zach LaVine both on the market and are still available, but they was waiting for all of this to clear up. So I'm going to help you out. Forget Harden, because Harden's a bitch. And the league has already seen it. Every executive and everybody in the league has already seen it.
They want nothing to do with him.
Harden's a bitch. Let's just leave it at that. So I feel like you just said, I like where you're going with that. Drew Holiday fits on all three of the teams, okay? And the forgotten players that was just in the wings waiting for the Dame deal to go down is Zach LaVine and DeRozan. In the start of the offseason, both of them was hot topics. They're not returning to Chicago. Chicago has to blow it up, and they signed back Vooch. But after Vooch, quiet. I also want to say, I'm very disappointed that Darnay is talking about the teams that can make a move, and he ain't mentioned the fucking Knicks.
But no. Slaughter, I was gonna get to that.
Wait, Ferg, let me respond, Ferg. Let me respond.
If y'all have fucking Donovan Mitchell, y'all already been there.
Wait, look. You see, this is my friend, Ferg. This is my friend, right? You know this is my friend, right? You can see how much of a friend he is, though, right? Because I mentioned the Knicks, and he loses his time. Let's stay on topic. We're talking about trades. He goes off the handle, and now I'm disappointed in you, sir, because you didn't mention the Knicks.
Don't be disappointed, because you knew he was going to do that.
Exactly. That's it. Just know me.
the Zach Wilson rule. He did. He pulled the Zach Wilson on me.
You know? Shit.
He pulled the Zach Wilson. But listen, do I believe the Knicks are going to be in some trade talks? Yes. I think it only should be for a player like Embiid. It should not be for Drew Holiday, right? And the only reason why.
Wait. That's the next thing I wanted to say to you. Embiid ain't going to win.
I don't believe that. I believe
he's going to bring somebody to Philly with him, but he's not leaving Philadelphia. Don't do that.
Okay, wait. I believe there's no difference in Joel Embiid and Giannis. And actually, it's even more likely that Embiid leaves than it was Giannis. Giannis already won a chip with Milwaukee, right? He had more incentive to stay in Milwaukee. But that's why he made the demands, because he knows they don't want him to leave. There's no chance Milwaukee was going to let him go, right? But with the dysfunction that's going on in Philly, how they got bounced out last year, if Embiid is sitting there talking about, I need help, and this bitch-ass nigga Harden was just asking to get out of here, and y'all ain't trade him yet, right? Y'all ain't get rid of him yet and get me better players. I believe there's more of a chance that Embiid can try to force his way out of Philly than it is he stays, and there's some magical, I'm going to use this word, magical player that's going to come to Philly and make him stay. Because I don't believe, I don't think Drew Holiday is the player. I want to make this very clear to y'all. Drew Holiday is not the player that's going to make Joel Embiid stay in Philly. That's my opinion.
No, I'm not saying that.
I got one thing to say real quick before the difference between Giannis and Embiid is that you got to remember Embiid demanded Harden. He's the one that brought Harden there. Philadelphia gave Embiid exactly what he asked for in James Harden. So the fact that you and James Harden ain't working out right now, my nigga, ask for this bitch ass nigga. You see me and Kyrie in Brooklyn. You see what he did in fucking Houston, showing up out of shape, my nigga. And you ask for the strip club going partying, Meek Mill best friend motherfucker to come to your town, my nigga. Nah, you got to deal with it. Giannis ain't publicly asked for no fucking body. He ain't say bring me Dame Lillard. He ain't say bring me Drew Holiday. He just said I want to win another fucking chip, or if I'm not re-signing. That's it. That's the difference.
The thing with Embiid, the reason why I'm saying the Holiday deal works for them, for Philly, is because right now, as presently constituted, Philly's not even a top 4 team in the East. They're not even a top 4. Boston's there. Milwaukee's there. I think the Knicks are there, top 4. And then Miami, Cleveland, maybe for 4 or 5. So Philly could easily be 6 through 8 right now, the way the East is set up. And whoever gets Drew Holiday moves up in the standings. That doesn't make them better than Milwaukee. So now you got to say to yourself, it's a game of keep away. Drew Holiday might not fit better on those other teams, but as long as y'all niggas don't get him, it's good for us. Because that's why a lot of people are talking about the Knicks being interested in him, because it's like, okay, if you can keep Holiday off the Heat, that's good for the Knicks. If you can keep him off the Celtics, that's good for the Knicks. If you keep him off the Sixers, that's good for the Knicks. That could easily put you in a situation where you can see the Knicks as a top 3 team in the East, if not top 2. Crazy enough. Right?
I think the only move the Knicks need to focus on is Zach LaVine.
Listen, D already knows what my thought process is. I couldn't pack RJ's bags fast enough for him. Now, I don't personally hate RJ, but if you're giving me Zach LaVine for RJ Barrett, with what we already have right now, and the salary can work. RJ's salary with some filler and some draft picks, that can bring Zach LaVine over here in a heartbeat. That changes everything. But the thing with Chicago, Chicago, they're asking for the world, and somebody's gonna give it to them. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. When it comes to Embiid, Embiid is losing patience. I never thought Giannis was leaving, but Embiid can leave. Embiid can leave, and it's. I just don't think Philly would actually trade him to us. I think we have to start looking at the time left on the contracts. Look at the time left on the contracts, and that'll dictate.
Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. I just figured it out. In y'all Nick chat, y'all been secretly wishing for MB to come to New York. That's why y'all motherfuckers.
Yo, we've been wishing for everybody in our chat. I was hoping we could get Melo out of retirement. I don't give a shit. I wish for everybody in the chat. D knows what I'm talking about.
Obviously, it just makes sense to me. Like, why were you talking about Embiid leaving somewhere? Oh, because y'all think he's gonna come to New York.
No. So
no.
So wait, there's speculation. Okay, I want to answer that. Yes, in the chat, we speculate about a lot of things, right? But Giannis, right, has been linked to possibly the Knicks if he was leaving, right? The Knicks having pieces they could send Milwaukee and draft picks and blah 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 blah. So once any player of any quality looks like they wants out of their situation, the Knicks is automatically linked to it because of what we have available to offer teams, not only youth but picks. It's always that. Now, me personally, the only reason why Embiid was on my radar because the Harden situation is falling apart, which puts them backwards. It puts Philly going backwards and not in the right direction. So he has to look to go somewhere. And I think the Knicks, even presently constituted with no other moves, is in prime positions to start moving up towards the right direction in the East. We're missing that next big player. And if it's not, I would prefer it to be a center. I think we're good at the guards and stuff like that. I think the position we need is either to get rid of Randall and to upgrade at the center position. That's what I believe we need for the New York Knicks, right? So that's why I think Embiid, there's turmoil in Philly. Why not have him come to New York? Whatever.
All right. I just seen where y'all wishful thinking was coming from and why this thing turned into an MB leaving. But I don't think it's happening. So
no. So we got into MB leaving because the next it was talking about the next shoe dropping. Yeah. We're trying to figure out, and you mentioned Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. I've mentioned privately to people that I don't know how this changes perspective for people that's even in the West, right? Because I think the Lakers have retooled in a way where it's the Lakers, it's the Denver Nuggets, right? Coming back from their championship. There's the Memphis Grizzlies, and there's wherever Phoenix and Golden State decides to do, right? It's out of those, to me, it's like a 4 to 5 person race over there. But in the East, it's very clear that it's the Bucks. And if another player wants to come and not find an easy path, but say to themselves, this is an opportunity, right? This is an opportunity to capitalize that it's not as competitive as what's going on in the West. In the East, the clear favorite right now is the Milwaukee Bucks. If I want to be the second clear favorite, right, I can join up with one of these teams who's right there, who's right in the position to do that. And that could be Boston, that could be Philly, that could be it could be any one of these teams that was right there.
And this is why I'm trying to tell you how important Drew Holiday is. He may not be, Drew Holiday is not your first or second option on a team. Maybe not even your third option, but he's the kind of guy that just makes other pieces fit so well that the team that, like, think about it. Think about Boston losing Marcus Smart and sending out Brogdon to bring in Drew Holiday. Now, you pairing Drew Holiday with the guys they got over there, that's a good look.
With
right?
Jalen and Tatum, that would be retarded.
You
It
see
would.
what I'm
It
saying?
would. Because
It's an
So
because
upgrade.
Drew Holiday is kind of like a better Marcus Smart.
It's an upgrade. He's not kind of.
Yeah,
He's a better Marcus
thank
Smart.
you.
he's a better.
Better.
Because
He's a better.
you're talking about a dude that could be defensive player of the year any year, and then he gives you offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, think about Miami not getting Dame Lillard, but then being in a position to acquire Holiday, right? Now, imagine the perimeter defense of Miami with Holiday and Butler out there, right? Then, when you look at it from a Knicks perspective, imagine you swap out RJ for Holiday, because that's where the contract works, right? And then you got Brunson, Grimes, or DiVincenzo with Holiday 1 through 3. Then you got Randall and Mitch. It makes you that much more of a better defensive team.
I don't like it.
And
I
then,
don't like that. I don't like Holiday on the
no,
Knicks.
Listen, the clunkiest fit is the Knicks. That's the clunkiest fit. But the thing is, what a lot of people are saying is, if you're the Knicks, you do it so that nobody else gets them.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's
Listen,
just bad
I hear
business. To me, that's bad business. Let me bag this bitch.
Bro.
Let me bag this bitch so my homeboy don't get him. That shit is just trash to me. Like you
Yeah,
bag her
but
because you want her and because she fits you.
It's not
but
what you
here's
need.
the thing. The
That's
thing is this, though. If you're able to keep him, because I think he's got 1 year left on his deal. So wherever he goes, he's going to go to whoever's going to offer him a contract extension. So this is why
why are we talking about this? If you know we're not giving him a contract extension. So let's get it.
I know we're not. No, we're not. But what I'm trying to tell you is it makes sense for those other teams. Because
Yes,
those
it
other
absolutely
teams,
do. He's a better fit on those other teams. Boston, he's the best fit on Boston. The second best fit to me is Miami. Like you said,
agreed.
The third best fit is Philly, but they got it.
Agreed.
The Philly would have to get rid of Harden because he works better to me with Maxey. You put Maxey and Drew Holiday together and get Harden the fuck up out of there. Right? You got Tobias Harris at the 3, you still got PJ Tucker at the 4, and you got Embiid.
Yep.
All three of those teams are better suited for Drew Holiday than the Knicks.
Which is why I don't think we're going for him. I don't think we're going for him. But this is what I was trying to tell you before we look for.
Bring him up.
Huh?
Don't even bring the Knicks up. Let's forget the Knicks.
No. I was just trying to give like but in reality, that's what I was trying to say. I think the Holiday deal comes before the Harden deal. That's what I was trying to say. Because of that.
You think the Harden deal? You said the Harden deal becomes before the Holiday deal?
No. I think the Holiday deal goes down before the Harden deal. Or if it happens at the same time, it's a 3-team deal where you get somebody to eat Harden's money so Holiday can go to Philly.
Here's my thing. I agree with you. Drew Holiday happens before Harden because Holiday is much more valuable piece than Harden. Nobody wants Harden. Nobody wants this bitch ass nigga. Nobody wants him. Like nobody wants Harden in the room. You know what I'm saying? Well, as far as the main contenders, because they realize what he is now. So it was like, nah, my nigga, fuck you. Like you, fuck you.
Right.
So Drew does get moved before Harden. I agree.
So this is my final question before we end the show. I want to end the show on this. Is there somebody we're not thinking of that could be a possible piece that's moved out of nowhere? Whether and specifically, I'm thinking in the West, because it's pretty quiet out there. Besides Dame Lillard was the only person in the West that he was even requesting a trade. But with all this movement going on, and we still waiting for Harden, and Harden may be traded and stuff like that. I guess you brought up Zach LaVine and DeRozan. There's still Siakam. There's still OG and Anunoby, I guess. Those guys would talk in trades rumors before. Is there anybody in the West that may make a move to come to the East to make this a little more, interesting? Because hey, Drew Holiday could go to Toronto with Siakam and OG and Barnes, and might be a good fit over there with no Van Fleet. To be honest with you, that could be a sneaky move, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just, is there a player any
But
of you guys
but
could think
the
of that
only
might
the
be
only
on the
thing gonna
move?
be is that contract.
Yeah, you're right. But is there a player, do you think, that we haven't mentioned that could be on the move or surprise us with making a move to try to snatch an opportunity with all this chaos going on?
I don't think it's a player. I think the proper question is which organization, because
Mhm.
you just mentioned the players. Like you just mentioned Siakam, OG. I mentioned DeRozan, Zach LaVine. Those are four players. Well, let's just take OG out there. Let's just say Siakam, Harden. I mean Siakam, DeRozan, and LaVine. Those are three players that if they go to any one of these teams out west is problems. Like, you know what I'm saying? That it could be major. You know what I'm saying? So the team who could make a move, who is like, man, with all this going on and with everything the Lakers did, I don't feel like we did enough. I feel like my Sacramento Kings. You
Mm,
know, look out for Sacramento. If they feel like, you know what, we could add this piece. We could get rid of the red rifle and bring in somebody that's more of a DeRozan, more of a Levine, or more of a, you know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
So,
Sacramento
okay, you
is
saying what? Sacramento would move out? They would move Harrison Barnes?
if it works, if it makes sense. Now, I don't know about Harrison Barnes just because he's that veteran leadership and he's been there. He's like the core, like he is the
Hmm.
core. As far as he's the big bro to De'Aaron Fox and to everything that Sacramento's been building out there. But
Yeah,
if it's for a Siakam, then it make
you
a
make
sense.
the move. You
Then you
make the
make the move.
move.
Then you make the move. You understand?
Yeah.
He gets to send his long email and wishing them well. But you know what I'm saying? His part in email. You know what I'm saying? You may give him a
Yeah,
press conference to talk to the fans, but you get him out of there. If you could get a
yeah,
Siakam to with Sabonis, Fox, Red Rifle, like you know what I'm saying? And then that's a problem. If you could add a Siakam to Sacramento and that quiet dude they got from that was winning the MVPs I spoke about earlier. It's like, you know, that's a team.
you
I
know
feel
another team.
I could see that. You know what? I could see that for Sacramento, because if you pair Sabonis with Siakam, and
Ooh,
that would be crazy with DeAndre Fox. You still got Malik Monk. You still got Herder. Right? That's who you're talking about as the red
Keegan
rifle. So
Murray.
you got Keegan Murray off the, like, that would be a move for the ages. That would put the
Hmm.
West on notice for real. To be honest with you,
How about
I like that one, Kay. That's a good one, Kay. That was a real good one. Thank you for that one. That was I didn't see that one coming. Like, but to put them, I know Sacramento's your team, so you just pulled the Nick move on us real quick. But it's
like
cool.
you know
It's
what?
cool. It's
You know
cool.
what? Hey,
you
hey,
mentioned
they
them
probably
when
got a
you
Sacramento
talk about
chat on the side we don't know about.
Yeah, right. Where they secretly talked about Siakam coming over
They got Embiid on their list too.
there. But there got to be another sneaky move that might be able to come through the pipes. I don't know where it could come from, who it could be, who could it involve. But I do know
Look,
that this Harden trade, once this Harden thing goes down, and Drew Holiday, there's gonna be some scrambling for some teams by some
look
teams.
out for OKC.
I
Hmm.
think
O-
I don't think they
OKC
touched
got
that. I don't think they touched that team.
no. What I'm saying is OKC got a ton of draft picks and they got a ton of young players that's on rookie deals. I think Shea Gilgeous might be the only one that's on a legit extension. Everyone else is on rookie contracts, and they got a shitload of draft picks. They're a
So
team. They could go from worst to first like this.
that's true. That's true. With that being said, because that's an interesting one, K. You know, you fuck with OKC too, right? If you had to pick a player, maybe out of those three that we've been mentioning, like the Levine, DeRozan, Siakam, who would be the best fit for OKC? Is there a player?
Drew Holiday.
I like
Drew
that.
Holiday.
I
A
like that.
a leader, a defender, a tone setter, a culture setter, somebody who everybody in that locker room is going to respect and not question. All them young boys will give him everything, but he would set the culture for them, the winning ways and everything. Drew Holiday.
Wow, I didn't. First of all, who's their two guard? Is Shea's the one? Who's the two?
No, you got Giddey. You got the tall boy Giddey.
Giddey's running the one or the two?
He's the one. Shea's the two. Shea's the two. And then you got a bunch of young boys after that.
Yeah, you got Dort, you had the Williams guy, the Jalen something.
Yeah, and then you got
now you got Chet. Now you got Chet.
Right. So if you
have the contracts that you can bunch together to make that deal work.
If you bring in Drew, we all know that Drew could guard the three. We all know that he could guard that he could play the three out west and guard and still be the point guard scorer. Give them everything they need. He would just plug into that position because remember now, Giddey, their point guard is 6'8" and grabs 10 rebounds a game. He gets triple doubles all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
So it's not like
crazy.
It's not like their point guard isn't 6'8". They don't have like, oh, they're tiny. No, because their point guard is 6'8". So Drew Holiday is nobody's son. He's not too small for anyone in the league. And Drew Holiday, okay.
And they could use his defense.
They definitely
could use his defense too.
And leadership. Yeah.
They definitely can. They definitely can. It will be interesting. It will be very, very interesting to see how this all unfolds in this NBA season, while the NFL season continues to unfold and give us more things to talk about, while the Major League Baseball postseason starts to begin and gives us something to talk about. Shameless plug, I got the Cincinnati Reds winning the World Series. I'm throwing that out there. I'm making predictions out here. Cincinnati Reds.
You think so?
Cincinnati Reds make the World Series.
Yo, as much as it hurts me, I think Baltimore might go on a run, bro.
Yeah. Listen, Baltimore, Cincinnati Reds in the World Series. Cincinnati Reds pull it out with the young De La Cruz running all over these dudes.
Listen, I'll tell you something right now. This puts the rest of the league on notice. Tampa and Tampa done ruined the whole thing, showing you that you could run a team with $7 and win games. Now Boston done fired their GM. Brian Cashman don't know what to do. They bringing in analytic people to analyze the analytic people they got. Literally. I mean, yo, it's changing the game. It's changing the game because you're starting to see that smart teams are not spending money and they're winning games. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know how they're doing it. Everything's changed. Everything's changed. But yeah, the baseball playoffs going to be interesting this year. It's going to change the way the game is played. I can tell you that.
I will be watching closely. That's for sure. That and the WNBA finals. I will be watching closely, and I'll peek in and out into the early part of the NFL season. Keep track of what's going on there while watching college football to see how good Dion and them's doing. This has been another episode of Straight from the Block. I am your host, Dapper Don DePlano. Our co-host, holla at him on the way out.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my ultimate pleasure. Hey, Haitian Ferg, my brother, you always know it's a pleasure anytime. This is Mr. Martin, a.k.a. Asher Martin. We out. You already know.
Same here, fellas. Always a pleasure to come on and chop it up with y'all. I'm eager to see what comes out of the next few days in the sports world. And like I said, always happy to come on. And Haitian Ferg, we out.
We out.